I probably have to create something for the beginning of the streams at some point, because it's always starting like awkward. Yeah. Again, for round 10 we are back in Mexico, in very changeable weather condition Mexico. Qualifying is going to be full wet and going to be changing to inters, so that's going to be interesting for qualifying. And then as well, the race is going to be going from wet to dry. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting for today's race. Changeable weather conditions. T2 had full wet everything. They had full wet everything from OSSQ, basically 2 one-shot qualies and then sprints, and then the main race were full wet. So the whole weekend was full wet, and then Tier 1 as well got some of that rain. A bit less, but at least here we're going to have changeable weather conditions, so strategy is going to be key in today's race. It's going to be a very big factor today. Everyone is here besides one car missing, and that's Drilla, but he has problems with his Xbox. TLS burner is TLW. I'll probably call him burner at this point, because it's just easier to see that. Yeah, everyone is here. Well, almost, besides, like I said, Drilla. But yeah, we have Lori, we have Alex, we have Adrian, we have DC, we have Sir Nikolai as reserves in McLaren, Aston Martin, Alpine, Mercedes and Haas for them. And speaking of teams, let's go into the actually, let's go to the last race results. Last race for Tier 1, almost no incident reports. Only one for the sprint and one for the main race, but those two came out as NFAs, so pretty much everything that you saw last week as race results in the stream has been kept the same. Vampy won the USA Grand Prix in Austin. Wave got the driver of the day. The two V-Carbs, P2 and P3, Wave P4 from P15, which was second to last, as we had only 16 driver grid. And as well, Wave got the fastest lap. Paul P5, F1 Lightning P6, Chesney Riz P7, Trent P8, Mighty Boo P9, and Taffy P10. And then the only one outside of the top 10 who finished is Chesney. The rest, Ricky, Zink, Drilla, Frizzy, and Lancer have been, well, they retired as we are going into qualifying. F1 Lightning's championship lead has gone down. No, wait, Zinks. I keep confusing Zink and F1 Lightning all the time at the moment. But yeah, Zink's championship lead has been reduced down to P4. Chimp takes, or let's say retakes the championship lead. Last time that he led the championship was after round 6 in Monaco, and he's back leading the championship with his teammate right behind him. Yeah, Chimp first with 117 points, Younger Boy second with 109 points, so 8-point difference there between the two V-Carbs. Vampy P3 with 102 points. P7 points to Younger Boy and 15 to Chimp. Zinc drops down from the lead to P4 in the standings. Is 5 points behind Vampy, has 97 points, and 20 points behind Chimp. So, yeah, massive blow to Chimp's championship. Well, not contention, but just that he failed to score any sort of points last race, even though you had the sprint and the main race, which in both of them Zinc failed to score any points. Then F1 Lightning P5 68 points, Trent 6th with 62, Frizzy 7th with 51, Visiblebore 8th with 42, Sonic and Ricky 41 in 9th and 10th. In the constructors though, pretty one-sided. V-Carps, honestly, wait, 83, hold on, there, honestly, with 3 rounds to go, this one and Brazil and Las Vegas, V-Carps can win the championship in here if they just score good amount of points, with there being no sprints to go to the end of the season. Means that the point system is normal, besides that one pole position, which is a specialty thing here in HOR. But other than that, everything is kept the same. Some drivers, well, that I don't know. The Chimp must have been learning Italian recently. If I'm being honest, I mean, to be fair, V-Carb is based in Faenza, so he probably must have tried and learn Italian, but I guess he misunderstood the mechanics between wets and slicks, and he wanted slicks his mechanics gave him slicks, even though he was trying to say wets, but he forgot what wets were and was trying to say something completely weird, and they understood it as slicks. Anyways, Chimp on softs, on a very damp track, I'll say. A very damp track. Trilla, in the meantime, on a flyer, is the first one to be on a flyer. These conditions are going to be getting a bit better as qualifying goes. As well, wets at the moment and inters are going to be somewhat equal. Trilla, of course, goes provisional pole position with 128.128. And then behind them, I mean, it's going to be kind of difficult to keep up with all of the lap times, as almost everyone is out there on track. Trent goes P1 27.389. Adrian only 31.785. Visiblebore 28.710, as Clipsy goes P1 27.378. Behind him there is a Ferrari of pole going P3 27.836. Mercedes going into pits, that's Zinc, and then a McLaren that is gonna be Sir Nikolai rounding off the final corner. Peraltada, probably pronounces that wrong, comes across the line and it goes P3 27.640. Behind one of the kick sours, that is Burner, goes P5 28.071. Jono goes P7 28.584. At the moment, the inters are not working. You can see a trend here that every single, basically every single driver that has set a lap on wet is faster than the inter driver, as Laurie goes P12 29.039. Drilla improves on his time to go P1 27.221. Of course, like I said, these conditions are gonna improve as qualifying is gonna go, so don't be surprised if you see, I don't know, someone like Pole being P1, as Trilla, his Xbox is failing on him, I see. Visselbor goes P6, 27.659. But yeah, you might see some surprises, some drivers being fast as, like, I don't know, Laurie, Burner, I don't know. I mean, at the moment, Sir Nikolai is going to be the fastest. On the exit of the final corner, was 6 tenths up on his time through the second sector, and is fastest by a second to his time, 26.689, and that is 6 tenths, 5.5 to Drilla, in front of Drilla. So yeah, Drilla, Visselbor is improving on his time by a tenth through the first sector. Like I said, there's going to be plenty of drivers that are going to improve on their laps, because, yeah, conditions are improving. Little bit by little bit, they're going to be improving. So nothing can be taken for granted in terms of, is Sir Nikolai actually going to keep that pole? Probably not, since to the end of the qualifying, there might be actually inter-tire conditions. Jono is improving a little bit to the first sector, although the first sector is only 3 corners and a straight, but still those 3 corners are important, and the straight as well. Pretty much the first sector shows, do you have a low downforce setup or a high downforce setup compared to anyone else. Of course, there's still Wave, 2 V-Carbs, 2 Mercedes, Vampy and Frizzy yet to do their times. Frizzy hasn't validated his time. Vampy on a flyer, 32.031 to the first sector. Zenk and Alex on their outlaps. Chimp on an outlap, and Wave and Yangaboy are in the pits. Let's go with Vampy. Second sector, 104.632. A little bit of lag there. I have to make sure that I'm not downloading anything. Yeah, there's nothing in the downloads for me at least, so there shouldn't be any sort of problems like Monza, where thankfully there was Consola. Vampy crosses the line and goes P2 26.700, but that's the time with better track conditions, as F1 Lightning goes P1 26.239 in the wets. Laurie goes P5 26.910. Visselboy is gonna cross the line to go P1 25.994. So the first race to go into 25s in this qualifying. And actually, Visselboy, I saw that he still had plenty of ZRS, so I was not thinking that he actually was on a flyer. Good that he was. Clipsy on a outlap. He's gonna start his lap. Jono invalidated. Behind him there's Sir Nikolai, who's 1.3 seconds up on his time through the second sector. He's probably gonna go into 24s if he's gonna absolutely smash this third sector, which he can probably, since there's a lot more grip. Sir Nikolai, is he gonna go to 24s? No, he won't, but he absolutely smashes Visselbor's time. 25.273, 7 tenths faster than Visselbor, and now 6 tenths faster than Zink, who goes P2 25.850. Frizzy goes P5 26.486. Bumpy 26.700. DC goes into the pits. Laurie is gonna start his lap. Alex goes P8 26.859. Anyone else? Visselbor is finishing his lap, and he goes P2 25.499. So still 2 tenths slower than Sir Nikolai, who is not on his flyer. In the meantime, Chimp goes P5 26.324, his first flying lap. Still Youngboy and Wavedray who still to do their times, but Wavedray has invalidated and goes back to the pits. Youngboy on a flyer, so he will be able to. He will not be the last one to not have a lap set. Clipsy is improving, of course. 1.6 seconds. Where is he gonna go? P1 25.147 by Clipsy in the Williams. This is what I talked about. There's gonna be plenty of surprises. Some drivers might be on pole position. Chesney goes up into P4 25.53. There will be some surprises from this in this qualifying. Youngboy goes P3 25.283. Vampy goes P1 24.076, 1.1 seconds faster than Clipsy. Oh, almost into 23s there. Lightning goes P3 25.225. These it looks like wets are going slower. Well, actually not slower, but just that the inters are a lot faster. Fizzlebore goes P2 24.191. So 1 second in front of Vampy, Clipsy, but roughly a tenth behind Vampy. Drilla crosses the line to go P3 24.740. Then there's gonna be Clipsy exiting the final corner, but goes into the pits as he doesn't have enough fuel. Then it is going to be Jono starting his lap. There's still plenty of drivers who haven't done their times in the new sort of conditions, let's say, with 6 minutes to go. Like I said, the track is improving, so many drivers are still yet to do the times in the sort of competitive track conditions. Let's just say it's better. Anyways, there's gonna be a time by the end of the qualifying where there's just gonna be massive traffic and everyone will want to start their lap last, because then there's gonna be the driest or least wet, let's just say. Adrian in the meantime went 4th, 24.994 in the inters. I mean, pretty much everyone is going to be on inters. Even Lightning is going to be switching to the inters when he can actually enter the pits. That's going to be the one thing. Drilla goes into the pit. Trent goes P3 24.356. So the three Italians, Vampy, Fizzlebore, and Trent, are in the top 3. The only ones to not be in the top 3. Right. I mean that's one way to that is one way to gain time for pole position. Jonah goes P4 24.481. Then an Alpine, that is Adrian, but he's gonna be starting his lap. Then it's gonna be DC, who is probably on a no, he's not. He's invalidated his lap. Then behind Pole is on a lap. At least he hasn't invalidated, and it looks like that he's doing a decent lap, at least for. No, actually he isn't, because he's pulled it into the pits. Almost binned it there. Almost, and almost is a bit of a heavy word there. It was somewhat close. It was getting there. A lot of drivers on the out laps, a lot of as well in the pits, just waiting. There are a few that are on their flyers. For example, Adrian, who is on a flyer, and as well DC, and those are the two only who are on the flyers. DC 3.5 tenths faster to the first sector, but you would need like 2.8 seconds to catch up to Vampy. But of course the track is better at this time, so you just need to be improving as much as possible. You just need to find that time. You need to find that time. Adrian is up on his time by 9.5 tenths. I don't think he's going for provisional pole position, but like I've been saying, for the whole qualifying, the conditions are getting better. So as qualifying goes, the conditions are getting better and better, so the times are going to be getting faster and faster. Adrian, is he going provisional pole position? Yes, he does. 23.825. First one to go into 23s. But DC, where is he going to go? Actually, he stays in 16th as he invalidated once again on his lap. Is the Season 5 champion going to actually start in P16, or is he going to actually be able to set a time? A competitive time, since the track has improved a lot compared to when we started the qualifying. The rain has lessened a lot. Chimp goes P1 23.611. There's gonna be plenty of drivers who go provisional pole position. Alex 23.167, almost into 22s, and there is the 22.992 by Sir Nikolai, the first one to go into 22s, and he goes provisional pole position. Like I said, there's gonna be plenty of drivers who are gonna just go for fastest laps. Clipsy goes P3 23.486, but Yenga Boy goes P1 22.725. Oh, that's one of the V-carbs off, but that's just Chimp letting someone through. Laurie goes P4 23.427. Then a Red Bull that might be that was Jono starting his lap. Then Visible starting his lap. Trent as well started his lap. Plenty of drivers starting the laps. I mean, it's gonna be impossible to just try and find and follow drivers who are actually on their laps. There is Drilla on his flyer. And where is he gonna go? He goes P2 22.778. Half a tenth behind Yinga Boy, but with this timing that he set himself up, he might actually not be able to do a final lap. Competitive final flying lap. Wave is still yet to do a lap, which he is on at the moment. Burner is still on an hour lap. Zinc the same. Lightning the same. And Paul the same. Frizzy still can do a lap. Let me find someone who is actually on a flyer. Younger Boy is not. Drilla is trying to, of course, get himself for a final lap. There's a whole ass flipping traffic. There's traffic like in London all the time. In the final sector, there's just so many cars in the final sector that it's just chaos. People are honking there. Get out of the way, Thunder Driver and all that. They're just honking. And look at this. Chimp just goes straight on into turn 1. Trent goes P6 23.428, 1000 behind his teammate Laurie. Who the hell went faster? I don't even know. It's gonna be impossible to follow these drivers in here. Yeah, it's gonna be impossible to follow these drivers, like I said. Adrian closing out his lap. Is he gonna go provisional pole position? He should be. Yes, he does. A 10th in front of Yenga by 22.632. But like I said, there are gonna be plenty of times of improvement. Burner invalidated his lap. Then Alex, he is on a lap, 6.5 tenths faster than his previous time. At the moment, he is going provisional pole position, goes a bit wide in the final corner. And is that going to cost him pole position? He might have. It will cost him provisional pole position. 22.900 has a massive snap on the exit of the final corner. Probably cost him the pole position. Then Frizzy goes P4 22.806. Lightning goes only P9 23.124. As Zane goes P1 21.880. Wave P2 22.241. Chesney is 22.969. Pole 13, 23.271. Laurie 14th. Sir Nikolai 22.065. Trent 22.010. Visible goes for provisional pole position. Bumpy straight behind him. Visible, is it going to be pole position? Shocked by DC. And it is pole position to Visible. 22.5 by the Red Bull. And a massive shock. The championship leader in P19. This is a massive news for Zinc and Bumpy. The same can be said with Younger Boy, who is only P9. It isn't as bad as his teammate Chimp, who is 10 places behind him, but as well Season 5 champion in P16, F1 Lightning P15. He's always rapid. What is happening here? This is what I talked about these surprises. I mean, Wave, one lap, one actual good lap, and he's set as P6, 22.241. Zinc is back, at least for the contention for the championship, but Vumpy looks to be in a prime position to overtake both of the V-Corps. But now to the main race, the main thing, and here it's gonna be all strategy. Strategy mainly, like, you know, timing the wet to dry perfectly from wet to slicks, and that's gonna be the key to perfection. And as well, just overall pit stops and managing your inters and slicks, overall your tires and fuel a bit. It depends. I don't know how the fuel situation is in here in wet Mexico. In dry Mexico it isn't that bad, but it isn't bad, but in wet Mexico, no idea. Anyways, soon we'll be starting the race with Visible in P1 and his fellow countryman in P2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's gonna be lights out, and away we go here in the Mexican Grand Prix. Visible, it's not a good start as Vumpy gets a good start, and Zinc already almost jumping Vumpy, and he goes P2, but there's side by side three-way into turn 1, Visible, Vumpy and Zinc. And it is Vumpy who goes into the race lead into turn 1. Visible drops down to P2 as there's contact between Zinc and Visible in turn 2. Yellow flags behind. That's one of the Williamses. That's Clipsy dropping down to P20. Visible loses pole position to Zinc as well, so he drops down to P3. Sir Nikolai P4. Everyone looks to be on the inters. Adrian tried to send it on Wave, but didn't work like that how he wanted it. Of course, the V-Corps are going to be one of to watch. There's too wide in turn 8 and 9. 4, 5. No, actually, oh, there goes Jono. There goes already Jono. And that's one. There's the first one to bin it in the S's, and it's as early as lap 1. Jono drops it as literally into the entry of the S's. Drops it immediately, and with front wing damage isn't down in P20, and the race is going to be long for him. Clipsy, does he have damage? It doesn't look like. He just maybe got spawned by someone or something, and there's another spin by Jono going into the stadium section. So yeah, as we start lap 2 out of 36, Vumpy is leading this race. The track is going to be drying, so in the later part of the race, it's just going to be key to manage these. Ooh, might be a safety car. Yes, there is a BSC, as Jono, I guess, misjudged, went into the pit wall, I guess. Just goes into the pit wall, and that's Jono's race done. At the moment for the V-Corps is not looking good at all, as they're in P9 and P15, as Alpines are P7 and P1, so Alpines are going to be catching if it stays like this. Chimp has a lot of work to do, the same with DC and F1 Lightning. A bit less has Younger Boy, but still a lot of work to do nonetheless to actually keep the championship alive, as Vumpy is in P1. Oh, and Alex gets a drive-through penalty. Evening, Kia. Evening. Alex gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. There is Frizzy trying to overtake Younger Boy into this stadium section around the outside. And now on the inside, a bit of contact, but still Younger Boy is in front. It's me, Wildstorm, the normal sort of the one that is always in here, besides for like 2 races of the season. Anyways, Frizzy goes for the move on Yenga Boy. Yenga Boy doesn't fight him too much, as he doesn't even have the ERS to fight him. Yeah, I said that he hit the pit wall. Yeah, Vumpy extending his race lead as the gap is 1.6 seconds. He is cooking. Yeah, he's just extending his lead as Drilla leaves the session. That's unlucky for Drilla. I know that it sounded a bit as I didn't care, but well. Anyways, he's kinda out of this race, sort of. Yeah, he is already down and last. Diaz, of course, is not available. Bob, you might say DC to not piss during the qualifying, because where he started is a bit of a joke. And Alex's race has even gone even worse, as he gets even a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. This is not Alex's weekend, or at least race. It's definitely not it. He needs to pray for a safety car. Needs to pray for it. Yeah, excuses. No, I'm joking. Of course, there's some things that just don't work. Yeah. Nothing much happening, of course, because there's no DRS, and overtaking is a bit hard. It's still Vumpy in the lead, extending, or actually keeping his lead about 1.8 seconds. Zinc keeps that gap pretty consistent, although Zinc has a lot less ERS, as Laurie now falls the victim of this connection. So we already have Drilla who's out, and now Laurie who's out. Burner is getting overtaken by Clipsy in just as we enter the stadium section. Vumpy fastest lap 25.426, so that could be a sign that rain is slowly stopping, but slowly. Of course, you honestly never know. It could have been just Vumpy a bit pushing with his ERS a bit more on his lap, as the gap increases to 2 seconds. Zinc is a bit down on ERS. Might have been as well that. Can I get an invite? I don't even know. Do I have you, John? Drill, of course. Do I even have you? I don't. There we go. Oh, there is an overtake between Yingboy and Frizzy. Frizzy, and then they're inside of each other. They're inside of each other. Laurie as well gets his invite, but yeah, Yingboy is in front of Frizzy, going literally through him, quite literally through him, and he got his place back. What he lost to Frizzy early on. And he's up to P8. Vumpy extends his race lead to 2.5 seconds. Visilbor close behind Zing, but Visilbor might actually look at Zing now and think, yeah, I might actually need to overtake Zing, because he lost a second on a lap. It could have been as well Vumpy just using a bit of his ERS, but it actually wasn't, because Vumpy still had plenty of it. And Visilbor goes for the move and is in front of Zing, and moves himself up into P2. Meanwhile, behind him, Wave overtakes Trent as well the same way, and Wave moves himself up into P5. Lightning overtakes Frizzy, so he moves up to P9. A bit later around the outside, but made work and is in front of him. The next car in front of him is Yengaboy. Of course, this is not a good sight for Yengaboy, because he would like F1 Lightning to kind of piss off. But Lightning kinda looks for it. Meanwhile, behind the DC is going for the move on Frizzy into turn 4 and 5. They're still going side by side, as they're going to be going into turn 6 and 7. Frizzy is still on the inside On the exit of turn 8, actually 6 and 7, as we go into turn 8, into the S's, DC is in front of Frizzy, so he moves himself up into top 10. F1 Lightning is close behind Yingaboy, but not close enough for an overtake. That might have been a track limit warning, might have been. The track limits on this game a bit iffy, more iffier than the last games. For example, Imola, it's completely broken there. Invisible, no, it's actually Visible, not Vumpy. Visible fastest lap 24.813, so it was a good decision to overtake Zinc, as he isn't actually losing that much to Vumpy. Still, the gap is 2.8 seconds, almost 3, but still, he's somewhat keeping that pace, and he's extending to Zinc. Meanwhile, behind, Trent and Adrian are fighting. Laurie retires in the pits. Adrian overtakes Trent into the chicanes of turn 1, 2, and 3, and Adrian moves himself up to P6, and his next car in front of him to overtake is Wave in the kick sour, but Wave has a lot more ERS compared to Adrian. But honestly, in these conditions, on this track, it's very easy to gain the ERS back. Honestly, like 1 lap, 2 laps of a bit ERS saving, and you almost got like 80% of ERS. It's honestly that easy. There's so many places. To be fair, it's the same thing, but in this case, but whatever. There are so many places where you can just save a bit more ERS and you're good. Vumpy, new fastest lap, 24.754, so he goes half a tenth faster than Zinc. At the moment, they are the only ones to go into 24s. And the next one is actually Zinc, who has a 6 tenths slower fastest lap to Visilbor, and Zinc is 2 seconds behind Visilbor as well. So it just shows the levels that Vumpy and Visilbor are showing at the moment. Then Zinc a bit alone, then Sonic a bit alone. Wave has a bit of going on behind, but shouldn't be that bad of a thing yet at the moment. Chimp still outside of the top 10. He needs to get going. He needs to overtake Pole as quickly as possible, but it doesn't look. He's just not confident in here, it seems. Frizzy and DC go side by side into the stadium section. Vumpy fastest lap, and there's a bit of contact between Frizzy and DC. There might be a bit more. There's a bit more, and Frizzy is in front of DC. There's a little bit of argy-bargy there, but still Frizzy in front of DC, but DC could respond now with more using of ERS. That was a bit interesting by Frizzy and DC. They're going side by side into turn 1. DC on the inside and is in front, although Frizzy tries to go for a switchback and try and get a better exit off of turn 3 at least. But he's 3 tenths down, and they're both on similar amount of ERS, so DC keeps his P10 at the moment, or overtakes Frizzy. I can't remember was he behind or in front, but anyways, DC in P10, but Frizzy is it's getting close between these two. It maybe looks like that Frizzy has a bit more pace than DC. Maybe. Rain is still there, but Vumpy setting faster and faster laps, so it could be a bit trying in here. It's just not that much. Okay, it might have been actually that they were pushing a lot. Vumpy 3.6 seconds to Visilbor. Visilbor to Zinc 3.2 seconds. So Nicola is actually catching up to Zink, so it could be a Italian 1-2-3 Italian podium here in Mexico. I mean, Mexican flag and Italian are close. Let's just say that they're close. Berner goes into the pits for new inters, and yeah, just only new inters. Interesting. He thinks that the inters that everyone has, they won't make it to the end of the rain. Still pretty early, but of course I have less information compared to the drivers. Drivers can ask the engineer, who is sometimes high on coke or something, whatever he takes, can be sometimes high and give out the most BS the most BS responses ever. But yeah, anyways, with weather reports, he's actually good. Younger by 3 seconds. The first one to get a 3-second time penalty. He's getting overtaken or at least attacked by F1 Lightning into the stadium section, but he keeps his position alive in P8 on track. But he has that 3 second. The first one to get a 3 seconds. Adrian goes into the pits, so he follows the same sort of strategy that Bernard is using. The same with DC. He should try towards the end, from what I'm being told. I mean, it depends how much in the end. It really depends on that, how much in the end. Because if it's like, it's not gonna rain like in like 10 laps before the end, then I don't know, I'm waffling something. But anyways, it really just comes down like how much to the end, you know. I literally yesterday had a race in Austria where it was dry, wet, and then dry. First 4 laps were dry, and then it became wet for the inters, and then there were two in the weather thing. There was 2 spots where it was supposed to be dry. It stopped raining. I stayed out, by the way, the whole time until my tires almost were starting to give up. And was everyone else pitted. Basically, from like lap 7 to lap 33, as there's a fight between Zink and Sir Nicholas. I'm trying to waffle something. Zink defends his position for now from Sir Nikolai, and Zink keeps his position at the moment. People pitting are Paul, Chimp, and Clipsy. Chimp, of course, has to risk something to at least do something. Alex leaves the session. Might be disconnection, might be just rage quit. So yeah, Chimp has to think about something, has to risk it. If he wants something, he has to do it. Otherwise, the race is gone. Because, yeah, terrible qualifying, and then in the end he just cannot get anything. He just can't get positions, as Chesney Reyes is trying to overtake Drilla into turn 6 and 7 side by side as they go. Drilla still has a 3 second, but of course position is key in here, or key, I mean everywhere, but yeah. Drilla still in front of Chesney Reyes, and it stays like that through the S's. But yeah, basically it dried out until like it dried out to the softs, to the dries until like lap 34, and it was like they were unsure if the dries and the inters were faster. So yeah, classic that. Sonic dies down inside of Zink, and it looks like it's gonna keep like that. Zink doesn't have a good pace to show at the moment. DC fast lap 23.649, but Zink is trying to come back at Sir Nikolai. Is gonna try and sort of scared Sir Nikolai to give him space. He does give him space, but now into turn 6 and 7, Zink tried to get a better exit, but Sir Nikolai gets a good one, and it is Sonuklai who stays in front of Zinc. Zinc, it isn't looking good for him. It's not, his pace isn't where he would want it to be. DC of course showing that his tires are good. He's he's caught up to Adrian, who's, I mean, having his little problems. Well, not really, he probably it just looks dramatic, honestly. From the outside it looks dramatic, although that was a bit wide there. Might have been a track limit warning. Of course, on a track like Mexico, the track limit penalties are key. Maybe not as much as they used to be, at least it feels like, but still it is key in here, because you're gonna get them very easily through the S's, through turn 1, 2, 3, and then in here as well you can get them somewhat easily. DC of course is gonna be trying to take Adrian as quickly as possible on this massive straight. Chimp 3 seconds, that's a huge blow for his for anything that you're trying to gain. DC though is trying to take Adrian. They're going side by side now into turn 1. He's trying sort of to hang on there just by wheel locking a bit. DC goes down inside, but Adrian keeps it around the outside. Adrian now sends it to defend, and DC goes wide by himself. Gains nothing, so it's not like you can say that he gained anything, but yeah, Adrian keeps that position in front of him. Jengaboy gets another 3 seconds. Alex, I don't know, do I even know? Have you? I think this is you. Okay, then I had you. Yeah, Yingboy 3 seconds. Vumpy goes into the pits. So the race leader is changing his tires. And where is he gonna be released from the pit lane? Yingboy as well goes into the pits. He has 6 seconds of penalty, so that's gonna be a bit shite for him. Vumpy rejoins in P7. Yeah, P7, just in front of Frizzy. Yingboy goes into the pits, the same for the pits. TLC Burner got a 3 seconds. Ooh, there's a bit of contact between DC and Adrian. Adrian is trying to defend it, sending it down inside into turn 1. Wrong guy. Ooh, there's a bit of contact with the shitty moto, and there's contact, even more contact. DC sent sideways, half sideways. They're inside of each other now, and hold on, Alex, hold on. After this, DC and Adrian are still fighting. They're still inside of each other, but it's now DC in front of Adrian. Now I can send you that one. I had to document that. I had to document that. Oh, Adrian goes straight on in turn 8. It's a bit weird that he went like that. Maybe some grass on the entry and the rear just went because of loss of grip, and there he goes, hits the barrier, and a BSC is being called out. Oh, this is perfect for Wave and F1 Lightning, because they're not going to lose as much time as they normally would. Other than 3 seconds. Frizzy pits as well, taking the advantage of the VSC. Of course, for Vumpy, this, I mean, it doesn't hinder him in any shape or form, since no one from the front was close enough to the pits that they can take advantage of. DC rejoins in P8. Of course, this gets a drive through for speeding under the safety car. Probably just trying to retire in the pits, maybe. Yeah, for DC this isn't really good. Yeah, there you go. For DC this isn't good news, since there is F1 Lighting and Wave J who benefited from this, and instead of being in front of them possibly, he's now behind them and by 3 seconds. So not good news for him, since he of course wanted to undercut everyone. Yingboy behind Chimp, so it worked for Chimp. It worked that he undercutted his teammate. Not sure how it will go as Trent gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. The only one to get that. Whistleblower goes into the pits. Trent, I mean, he's gonna have to serve it, and he's gonna serve it immediately. Right now, of course, devastated. He was running in a good position, but now he has to take the drive-through, and as well in a pit lane that takes just horribly long, and as well is the pit lane that just immediately exits out to a massive straight where everyone is doing almost 300 kilometers, whilst the driver that exits the pits is only doing few kilometers. Trent has served his drive-through penalty, but he has to still change his tires. I mean, technically he doesn't, but with tire wear he might have to pit if he wants to not get tire puncture, that sort of stuff. Vumpy almost 6 seconds behind Sir Nikolai, and Sir Nikolai and Zink, they haven't pitted yet, so Vumpy is just showing absolutely next levels. Race is somewhat calm at the moment, somewhat calm, even though there's 3 DNFs. We only had like 2 VSCs, which haven't really they haven't really stirred up that much. Sir Nikolai maybe into the pits. Nope. Zink maybe. Nope. Staying out. They're both staying out. So Vumpy, new fast lap 23.169. 2 V-Carbs have changed places. So Yingaboy in front of Chimp. Vumpy, of course, wants to overtake Zink. By sending it a massive one into turn 1. And he's made it work. He has made it work. The massive send paid off. And he's up to P2. Maybe as well Zink. Maybe as well Zink just broke a lot earlier what he would normally do and just tried to sort of let Vumpy through. But still massive move by Vumpy, and it worked. Frizzy moves himself up into P8 as he overtakes Trent. Chesney overtakes Burner as he overtakes him for P15 on a main straight. Youngboy trying sort of his luck to overtake Pole, but it's not working at the moment. Of course, the chase come Merchant. His race isn't going good, and for the two, almost friendly fire there between the 2 V-Cars, but luckily they didn't take each other out. Pole close behind Trent. They're losing time on Frizzy. Pole gets a 3 second. Pole gets overtaken by Yingaboy. Zink goes into the pits. Vumpy fastest lap 23.077. Of course, Visible is going to overtake him. Wave is going to overtake him. F1 Lightning is going to overtake him. DC is going to overtake him. And then it could be this massive train, although it might be a bit too late. Burner loses his front wing on the exit of the S's. Like that. Zink, where's he going to rejoin? It's going to be... Might be terrible. Yingaboy is catching though. Just about in front of this whole pack. Yingaboy is in front of Trent, of course, but so lucky by Zink to just be in front of this pack. Now he needs to defend, of course, from Yingaboy, who has warm inters, and he's good on them. But Zink keeps his P8. So lucky to not be behind this whole train of cars, and he has somewhat a good amount of free air. Of course, in front there's Frizzy, but it's better to be behind Frizzy now compared to be behind Clipsy, your own teammate. And probably Clipsy would let you through, so it would be then Chimp and then Trent. Vumpy right behind Sir Nikolai. Sir Nikolai is trying something on these old inters. He's trying the same strategy what I did in Austria. Just stay out on them as long as possible until it gets dry. But at the end, it's not looking good for him. The rain is just not stopping. still there. Vamp, is he gonna overtake Sonically into turn 4? No, he won't. He's gonna stay behind. And maybe overtake somewhere else. Meanwhile, behind, Chimp overtakes Trent on the main straight. Clipsy as well. Sort of. I mean, it looked like that he was trying to go for it, but he didn't. Of course, Clipsy on the exit of these corners is gonna maybe have a look. Doesn't look like Trent has way more ERS, although Clipsy is using it. Maybe he's gonna send it around your side. Yes, he is around your side, sending it into turn 4, and beautiful move by Clipsy on Trent. And he moves himself up to P12. Meanwhile, in front, Vumpy moves himself back into the race lead, overtaking Sonically around, well, into the stadium section. And like I said, retakes his lead on lap 20 out of 36. Of course, now it's 21, but it was lap 20 where he retook it. So Nikolai is using a lot of his ERS, so he's trying to retake P1 from Vumpy. But Vumpy has a lot fresher tires, in a lot better condition. Although there's contact between them, you could argue that there was space, and Nikolai just drifted away from the apex. But anyways, minor bit of contact there was between them, and Vumpy still keeps his P1 there. F1 Lightning is in front of Wave. On the exit of turn 3, he's still in front. Although Wave has a bit more ERS, but he's not using it. He's not trying to overtake him. He actually lives before the braking zone. Trent goes into the pit and pretty much is the last driver besides Burner, although technically Burner is the final driver and the last driver, and Trent is the second to last. Anyways, Vumpy back into the race lead, and now Sir Nikolai can't get him, as just the gap is too big for Sir Nikolai to even dump all of his ERS and overtake him. You're not gonna gain that much time on the straights if you're just dumping your ERS. He's gonna have to look behind though, because Visilpor is rapidly catching. This strategy by Sir Nikolai is looking like it's not working like he wanted it to. Wave close behind Lightning, but he has been pretty mindful about his ERS this whole race, and he doesn't want to go for a move. So he's staying in P5 behind maybe something. I mean, it's pretty spread out. The only ones who are within 1 second is pole from pole to Clipsy. They're somewhat close to each other. This might actually be a big race for our championship leader and a championship runners-up leader, if to be fair, that sort of exists. Anyways, in P2, P9 and P11, it's not looking good for them. Zinc is gonna catch up to them, but the big thing is that Vumpy leads the Grand Prix at the moment, and if he's gonna win the race, then he is gonna take the championship lead after this race, from where it looked like that Vumpy is not gonna be looking. It's not looking good for his championship running. After, oh, there he goes. Maybe puncture. Doesn't seem like it. No, it doesn't look like that he got a puncture anywhere. It's just that they were literally gone. Anyways, decides finally to go into the pits. Of course, now they're gonna be beautiful inters. Bit of suffering, but they're gonna be now very good. He is gonna have a massive tire advantage compared to the others. The least one is gonna be to Zinc. So Nikolai just in front of Yengaboy and behind Frizzy. But yeah, he's gonna have a massive tire advantage over everyone else. He has the freshest tires out of everyone, so he's gonna be rapid. And honestly, if the track is gonna get dry, then he can take them to the end, and maybe go for a good position. But for a win and P2, it's gonna be very unlikely since the gap is big. Zinc overtakes DC, And he goes up to P5. DC was a bit off the track though, so on the exits, there something that I could have missed. But anyway, Zink in front of DC. DC's strategy to go somewhat early on the new tires isn't working. At the very beginning it worked, but now it's not looking good. Zink a bit of a well, the rear is just sliding for him. It just seems like his rear is sliding everywhere, or more than he would have probably liked, of course. Wave just chilling behind Lightning. Nikolai overtaking Frizzy. That is going to be very good to see, of course, for Sir Nikolai, and it's going to be a common thing for Sir Nikolai in this part of the race to catch up and overtake the drivers that he needs to. And he's now right behind his fellow countryman in DC and the champion, but too far to go for a move. Of course, he has to be a bit watchful what he does with his lines so that he doesn't accidentally close on Frizzy, but he might actually not look on Frizzy but on DC as he overtakes DC through turn 6 and 7, and he moves himself up into P6. And now his next target is Zink. He's catching to him rapidly, already 1.3 seconds from 1.6. So these tires are working. The early software that he had to do on those tires to now having the freshest out of all of them is working. But of course there's still 11 laps to go. Yeah, just still plenty to go. So Nikolai expectedly fastest lap of the race, 22.958. So the fastest lap and the first one to go into 22s. Previously was held by Vumpy. As DC is getting overtaken by Frizzy. This strategy by DC is not working at the moment. It's not working. Yeah. But it has stopped raining. It stopped raining. At least at this point. It stopped raining in this point. Trent going into the pits. Is this for the dries? Is this for the dries? Yes, it is for the dries, for the mediums. First one to go into the slicks. Now this is going to be very important for the others. Who are of course close and who have engineers or someone that can tell them. Has he pinned it immediately? Yes, he has. Almost pinned it immediately. Sir Nikolai in front of Zink. As we just enter with them into the stadium section. With Trent though, it is going to be very important to look at his pace, and at the moment it's not looking good. It's too early. He is on ice at the moment. He's on ice. The track, it's not even looking that good. If there's DRS enabled, then he's just limping. Oh, it's like driving on ice. It's like driving on ice at the moment for Trent. It's just these tries are not working for him. Of course, they're gonna get better as the race goes on, but at the moment it's too early. Chimp goes for the move on pole finally. Might be too late, but it's still in front of pole. Burner gets 3 seconds, and Yingaboy as well. Got his 3 seconds. Another one. End of lap 27. Now that's a bet. No, not really. But yeah, honestly, for Trent, this could be like too early. Of course, now he has to stay on these. He has to stay on these. Because then it's just gonna be a big ass blunder. I mean, it's gonna be classic Scuderia Ferrari strategy. So Nikolai is catching. Of course, I mean that's obvious that he's gonna catch, but it's just really depending on how much is he gonna catch. So Nikolai, another fast lap, 22.863. Of course, now the track is drying with no rain. Still no any info of any sort of DRS enabling. DC goes into the pits for the mediums as well. Burner overtakes Trent, so I mean, I guess DC has to do something as he's just losing time. The same that Clipsy does. He's going as well for the mediums. People are gambling for the softs at this point to see if they're gonna be good. Maybe at the very beginning there might not be good. As Drilla goes off track, actually gets a 10-second time penalty that might be getting removed, but still cut through the grass. Oh, he has puncture! Drilla puncture, rear left puncture, and the car is out of control from him. Half spins, initial D into turn 4 and 5, but puncture for Drilla and spins as he goes into turn 6 and 7. Ay, that rear left got cooked by Drilla and couldn't handle it anymore, and he's just spinning and drifting in here massively. He's just probably fed up with this, causing yellows in sector 2. But yeah, this is the cruelty of motorsports. And unfortunately for Drilla, this race is pretty much gone. Chimp into the pits, the same with Pole. DC gets 3 seconds, so that's not going to be ideal for him. Yellows again, that's Drilla, of course. Ooh. Maybe something? No, there's nothing. No, of course. DC. Up to P9, of course. But by how much in front of Chimp? I mean, he was a lot in front, but the gap is like massive. The drives might be actually good at this stage of the race. Yellows again for Drilla. I mean, that's going to be obvious. For Sir Nikolai, he could probably go until the end of the race on these tires. He's trying to overtake Wave into turn just before the flipping stadium, and he does overtake him. Vumpy goes into the pits. He's gonna go for the drives. Whistlebore stays out. Lightning, is he gonna stay out? Vumpy for the softs. Lightning staying out, but did he get a puncture? No, he did not, but he's gonna, of course, probably let his teammate through. I mean, no. By the way, Drilla, he did not pit. He's staying out on that tire. He's staying out on that tire. Vumpy onto the softs, like I said. But the McLarens, I guess they're going very realistic since they're not letting each other through. Lightning does not want to let his teammate through. This is... I know that Sir Nikolai is a reserve, but Jesus, even for a reserve, just be friendly and all that. Just let your faster teammate through. You're losing time like this, both of you. I mean, Lightning is losing time like this. Even if Sir Nikolai is reserved for McLaren, I don't understand why Lightning is still keeping Sir Nikolai behind him. It's just kind of stupid. Sir Nikolai is probably getting a bit angry in there, in the car. Whistlebore pitting. He is pitted. Sir Nikolai, of course, wants... I mean, probably at this point he might as well just... Although to be fair, I forgot that pits are very important, and Lightning goes into the pits. Sir Nikolai stays out on those inters. Zinc, he has three, mate. Vumpy on those fresh softs might be able to overtake Nikolai, although he has no ERS. But Vumpy has got those fresh softs, and he's sending it down inside into turn 1. But Sir Nikolai tries to go around the outside, and he's made the move around the outside stick. He has made it, but now Vumpy is getting a run on Sir Nikolai. Is getting, because he's got the DRS. There's contact between them. Vumpy went sideways. Drilla retires in the pits, but now the drives are faster. So Nikolai, he probably just needs to keep his cool down. He just needs to drive on these inters or pit. It's either just survive on these inters or pit on this lap. It's either this or this. It's not in between. It's either that or that. And Vumpy goes for the move on Sir Nikolai into this. They both go off track. This is like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton 2021. Sir Nikolai tries to defend himself, but those softs are superior compared to the Inters. He tries to send it into the Penaltada, but it just cannot do anything. But he still has the DRS, I believe. He will have the DRS. Yes, he will have the DRS, so he's gonna try and overtake Vumpy into turn 1, and with the DRS he's gonna be able to overtake him on just pure straight line speed. But Vumpy, is he gonna send it? No, he won't. He doesn't want to send it. Of course, this is big for Vizelbor. The fast laps are just gonna be getting faster and faster, so I probably will just ignore them. But I will not ignore this fight out front. Sir Nikolai is defending for his life on those Inters, and this Vumpy just hits him into the side, into turn 5, and goes side by side. Sir Nikolai is a 3-second from that. Vumpy moves himself up into P1, a bit controversially, but is in front of Sir Nikolai. But honestly, you might as well take the penalty just to, I mean, a 5-second time penalty just to get in front of him, because you're just losing time on Vizelbor, and Sir Nikolai will not overtake you on the next main straight, on the next upcoming main straight opportunity, because the grip on those Inters is absolutely non-existent. Well, absolutely non-existent. There is, but it's just they're overheating, and goes very late into the pits. 10, yeah, he probably will give up. Yep, there we go. Gives up. Yeah, that was the mini race that we had between the two Italians, Vumpy and Sir Nikolai. But Sir Nikolai saw that, yeah, F this. I'm out of here. Did my job, and yeah, that's McLaren points gone, just like that. Does not think about anything, just himself, and that, yeah. Cool, perfect. Of course, this is beautiful for Vizelbor, since he gained a lot on Vumpy. Wave still in front of Lightning. And Wave still in front with that undercut that he made on F1 Lightning. And as well, that F1 Lightning and Sir Nikolai were a bit fighting. Lightning thought that Nikolai would try and get in front of him, so that actually Sir Nikolai would have been in front going into the pits, but Lightning defended himself for his dear life, and he actually stayed in front of him, and Sir Nikolai did not pit, tried to go on those Inters, but he didn't get to make them to the end, and he retired in the pits. Just because it's a bit better for Boy Chimp and Zing, since they get one extra position. Lightning 18.400 with his DRS. He might be able to overtake Wave, although he doesn't use his overtake. Burner retires in the pits. Doesn't use his overtake. So he's not trying to overtake him yet. Trent 3 seconds. Lightning still behind. He's thinking about that final lap probably. By the way, I want to point out that Vizelbor is catching up to Vumpy a lot. This could be something for the final laps. I'm just suggesting. There's fighting between Clipsy and Paul. Paul is behind Clipsy. Although Paul had the DRS, so Clipsy defended himself from Paul very, very well. Unless, there it is. Vumpy is an idiot. There's gonna be some opposition on that. I'll say that there might be some opposition on that. I'm just suggesting that there might be some opposition on that. I mean, as well, that was a nice way to sort of try and defend your position, so I'll just say that. Anyways. 5 laps earlier. I mean, that it came in how it came in, mate. It's not like came in early. It's just the weather that sometimes it is. I mean, it was supposed to be like that, how I raced yesterday, but it didn't. It came in late, the dries. And here for you, it's the opposite. It's just the game. It's just how it works. I mean, softs are good for one lap, but then later they're not good. Which might be the factor which will lose the race for Vampy. Visilbor is catching 17.352 for Visilbor. He is almost within his 1 second, but Vampy has a bit more ERS, but it's a bit. He's 22% compared to Visilbor, who has only 10. He has to catch up to Vampy within this lap. He has to catch up. Lightning not trying to overtake Dre. He's doing that for the final lap. This, of course, this is the same way that Visilbor wants to do it. Frizzy, of course, the same. Might think about the final lap, but DC has plenty of his ERS compared to Frizzy, who has none. The rest is pretty much, you can forget. Zinc 3 seconds. So that's gonna put him 6 seconds, so that will drop him a position to Frizzy, who is overtaking DC into turn 4 and is moving himself up into P6 on track. Visilbor within a Vampy lost his car massively, just the corner entering the stadium section, and now this will be the factor, as another factor which will cause Vampy to lose the race that he dominated this so much in the wets. And Visilbor with the DRS is going to be able to overtake his fellow countryman in the Red Bull and move himself up into the race lead. That one lap that he needed to legit lead. I'm not counting those where he led because Vampy pitted. The one race lead where he actually led the race on track without any pit stop things is the final lap, and it's the one that counted the most, and it is down to, again, last season. Visilbor is sort of back. The season that really hasn't gone well for him. In the meantime, F1 Lightning overtook Wave, as well DC Frizzy. But yeah, back to this. Visilbor, his season, it's been terrible. It's been terrible. The defending world champion has had a terrible season, but now in Mexico, he is gonna win it again. On the exit of the final corner, he is gonna win the Mexican Grand Prix in Season 7. The Season 6 champion is back. Vampy P2, and it's pretty much the same how it ended in the championship last season, almost. Lightning P3, Wave P4, Zinc drops down to P7. What the hell happened there? Frizzy P5, DC P6, Zinc P7, Yangaboy P8, Chimp P9. Although Clipsy and Paul are still fighting for that final pink position. Paul has a penalty though. Chimp will get that P9 unless he had 9 seconds, but doubt that. Yeah, Clipsy gets that P10, Paul P11, Chesney is P12, Trent P13, and Alex is gonna finish in P14, but that's AI, so from like lap 7, so it's not gonna count. I mean it's not gonna count anyways. Yeah. But Visilbor once again winning. Well, once again, technically that's, I think that is his first. Yeah, that is his first win of the season. In Season 7, the reigning world champion only now gets his win in Season 7, and that's another different race winner in this season. I just want to double check that definitely Visilbor did not win the race. A race this season. I'm I will say that now. Yep, his first win of the season, and that's our hold on. That is our 9th different winner. Again, only F1 Lightning has is the only one to be the driver that has 2 wins this season, and the only one who has 2 in a row. And yeah, Whistleport joins the club of drivers who have won a race this season. Vampy P2, Lightning, beautiful recovery from P15. Frizzy, lovely recovery from P12 to P5. And DC as well, a lovely recovery from P16 to P number 6. Our championship leaders, Youngboy and Champ, have had a rough race. Only P9 and P8 means that Vampy, wait, 18 and Youngboy got 18 for Vampy, unless gets a massive penalty from that incident with Cernicla or something, I don't know. If the race result is gonna be kept the same as it is at the moment, Vampy is gonna lead the championship from this race. Youngboy is gonna be closer to Chimp, but Chimp is gonna be still in front of Youngboy. Zinc is gonna catch up a bit to Youngboy, but pretty much is gonna be that Vampy is gonna jump into the championship lead with Chimp P2, Youngboy P3, and Zinc P4. But it is gonna be even closer. It's gonna be even closer in the championship. Since Vampy got that P2 only, got overtaken by Whistleport on the final lap. And then Chimp, Youngboy, horrible races. I mean, still got some points, of course, that damage limitation, but as well, Chimp, P19, and Youngboy only P9, whereas they've both have had good races this season. And, yeah, Whistleport is going to jump, get a good influx of points as well. It's going to overtake Trent since he didn't score any points. F1 Lightning is going to catch up a bit to the top. Same with Whistleport, of course. With this as well, Wave should jump. Ricky. And that is really it for now. Yeah, really that's only it for now. I can say now that with this results that we saw, it is going to be Vampy leading the championship going into the penultimate race into Brazil, the track that is famous for in qualifying tight, like the times are so close in qualifying, and then in the races the racing is just spectacular. Perfect venue for a season finale, but unfortunately we have Las Vegas as a season finale, so yeah. But yeah, next week Brazil, and see you next week in a 4-way championship battle. Well, technically there's more, but there's 4 main contenders, okay? So yeah, see you next week in Brazil. Ciao.